Deus Ex is one of the best video games ever made. You know it, and I know it. 20 years after it hit the store shelves, people are still talking about Deus Ex with just as much enthusiasm, and for a good reason. The interactivity of its immersive mechanics, the exploration and the reactivity of its world and plot are still unmatched to this day. Add a compelling, conspiracy-laden plot set in a bleak cyberpunk dystopia, and yeah, Deus Ex was all-time classic material even before it was released. It's a game that every time you play, you find something new, be it a subtle nuance in its highly political plot or a creative way to solve a problem that the developers made sure to account for. Deus Ex is the immersive sim genre at its peak. Oh, and I even made an entire video about it, which you should definitely go watch either before or after this piece. You do your thing, I'm not the boss of you. So what's the point of this video? Well, for this one, I will take a look at Liberty Island, Deus Ex's incredible first level, and talk about what makes it click from a mechanical and game design perspective. There are tons of literature out there covering every single aspect of this level's creation, so I'm not gonna bore you with behind the scenes trivia as I usually do, and jump straight in. But before we do that, I have a Twitter where I tweet badly, and a Patreon where you can support the channel. Alright, let's do this.
Pathetic.
So after the intro cinematic and character creation screen, you're dropped on the outskirts of Liberty Island on the docks. You play as JC Denton, a fresh out of the academy cybernetically augmented agent of the newly formed United Nations Anti-Terrorist Coalition. Your objective is to capture the leader of the NSF, a terrorist organization that has set up shop in the Statue of Liberty, and save Gunther, a fellow augmented agent who's held in the same building. Seems like a lot for the first day on the job, but no worries, your brother Paul is here to assist you. So not 2 minutes into the game, Paul presents you with one of the many choices you'll make throughout the game, picking one of 3 weapons. All 3 options are equally viable, with the caveat that 2 of them can be easily found on this very level. I always go with the sniper rifle here. After choosing your weapon, Paul fucks off and you're finally ready to start the game. So this small section here where you're spawned is a masterclass in game design and how to make a tutorial. Let's take it step by step. Right after you talk to Paul, you'll notice 2 drinkable items. Consume them and you learn that beer instantly knocks you out and that soda restores a small amount of health. Next to them is a trash bag, which teaches you that items can be picked up and thrown around. To your right on the ground lies a crowbar, as if winking at you to break the crates next to it. One of the crates holds a pair of binoculars. Their placement is not coincidental, because that angle offers a clear view of the location you're supposed to be infiltrating later in the mission. Before we go, we have one more thing to check off our list. These unassuming stairs leading into the ocean. Dive into the ocean and voila! 2 crates, one containing a hacking tool and the other a biocell. Both will come in handy later. This was basically the developers telling the player to always be on the lookout for secrets. So let's recap. The starting section is a microcosm of what this game is all about. It contains the 3 main pillars of Deus Ex: choice, interactivity, and exploration. This shit should be taught in game design schools. Also, remember this friendly robot. No reason in particular, just do it, okay? Right outside the pier is a crossroad. One of the routes branches in 2 directions, one leading directly to the front entrance of the objective, the other to the UNATCO offices. We'll get to the second, more scenic route later. For now, let's dispose of 2 NSF troopers, solve our first quote-unquote crate manipulation puzzle of the game, take another peek at our objective, and head towards the UNATCO offices. Outside the UNATCO building, we meet this UNATCO grunt who offers us a code and hints at some hidden loot somewhere in the vicinity. Since the door to UNATCO is tightly shut, we may as well go check it out. Actually, there is a glitch that allows you to skip this entire mission, but I won't Okay, fuck it, let's give it a try.
Help!
Holy shit, it worked! That's gonna be it for today, thanks for watching and I'll see. So this unassuming military installation to the left of UNATCO is a sort of mini tutorial, and it's also meant to test the player's inquisitiveness. Basically, there are 2 shacks the player can break into, a comm van, which we already got the code for, and the antenna shaft. The comm van we can easily break into by simply inputting the code we got from the UNATCO smuggler. As for the antenna shaft, believe it or not, there are a whopping 3 ways to access it. You can use a lockpick, which is not ideal because you'll want to save them for later. We can go behind the comm van, grab the key for the antenna shaft and open it cost-free. Or we can enter the comm van, open the SATCOM, input the username and password we found on a databed below the table next to the SATCOM, and open the hatch from there. With that sorted, let's fuck off and go meet up with an old contact of ours, which will require us to take the scenic route I mentioned earlier. So when it comes to this particular route, I have some good news and bad news. The good news, you get to hear this insightful conversation which pretty much sets the tone for the entire game.
That's the difference right there. Just take a look at him.
Bad?
They cut off his arm, replaced half his face.
Herman, right? He's a good soldier. Killed 3 of our men.
They'd have replaced his whole body if it would have improved performance. If that's how you judge a man, by performance, then eventually it's not about people, but upgrades, versions, functionality.
All I know is we could use a few mechs for ops like this.
Soon as we buy into the cult of the machine, we're just like them.
Rhetoric. Always more rhetoric.
The bad news, it's filled with guards. Luckily, the AI collapses under its own weight at the slightest whiff of sentience and human agency, so we're good. We take out a couple of guards, patch ourselves up, give up on stealth altogether, and ooh, what's this? Another surreptitious mini tutorial area? Let's check it out. Oh look, a multi-tool crammed between a container and the ceiling. Just a brief reminder from the devs to always be on the lookout for secrets. So inside this bunker we stumble into the first puzzle of the game. That is an EMP field. If we touch it, we die. This is where we're supposed to use the multi-tool from earlier, but there's a better left hand scratching the right ear way to go about it. Here's how real OG big-brained gamers do it. Pick up this crate, dump it on the ground next to the container, hop on the container, grab the crate again, throw it on the forklift, jump on the forklift, pick up the crate again, drop it, crouch and squeeze it between these 2 pillars with your body until it falls on the tines. Press a button to raise the tines, jump on the tines, throw the crate on the EMP emitting contraption, jump on it and voila, you've made it. To escape, simply jump back the way you came. I've done this puzzle dozens of times in the exact same sequence and I always feel as if I had just come up with this solution. Okay, where were we? Oh yeah, the objective. Let's go meet our old friend by the docks. And of course they're guarded. Since I dropped all pretense of playing stealthily, I'm just gonna blow this guy up and pop one 9mm in his boss's head. That'll teach him. Oh wow, what a nice view. Hey there bum, sorry Philbin, thanks for the key. It will come in handy later in the video when I'll show my viewers just how many ways there are to infiltrate the main objective. But before we do that, we have another puzzle to tackle. Remember the stairway leading down into the ocean from the boardwalk? This is that, but on steroids. Because instead of copying some items from a broken shark cage, we have to break into a sunken boat. We can use a lockpick to open the hatch, but I think you already know that on this channel, we never use precious resources if we don't have to. So what's the alternative? How about we grab an explosive crate, dump it in the ocean, push it as close as physically possible to the hatch with our body, go back to dry land and shoot it. Seems crazy, but trust me, it works. God, I fucking love this game. Okay, enough distractions, time to head off to our main objective. But not before engaging in another bout of horrible stealth and disabling this bot with an EMP grenade. I don't really want to use 2 whole lockpicks on this crate. Good thing I spotted this perfectly usable explosive barrel that I can't pick up without the relevant augmentations. So I'm just gonna slowly push it. Fuck. Shit. Alright, walk with me. Good thing I quick saved. Sorry, buddy. How the fuck did you survive that? Finally, we reached the front entrance of the building we were supposed to infiltrate. So, in true Deus Ex tradition, there are several ways to go about this. First, disable the security camera with a multi-tool, and then either break into the building with a lockpick or simply use the key Philbin gave us earlier. For a more elegant, modern solution, we can input the data we extracted early in the mission from a datapad into the terminal near the entrance and achieve all of the above by pressing a few buttons. Regardless of our choice, we don't really want to barge in through the main entrance because this section of the building is heavily guarded. Luckily for us, the bum's friend hinted at another pathway through the back, which, while it does require some acrobatics, it's overall the safer route and gives us a nice overview of the building. The top side hosts our main target. The basement is where our colleague, Gunter Herman, is held captive. Both are connected with a stairway. So let's drop a few NSF grunts and go save our friend. I don't want to waste a multi-tool on this laser field. So let's follow the official immersive sim manual and enter the vents, which lead behind the laser trap. This area would have been guarded had I not played like an absolute jackass, so let's pretend it is. Yo, Gunter in the house! Yeah, you can have my pistol. Alright, go do your thing, you adorable hunk of metal and circuitry. You'll definitely not turn against me later in the story, right? Right? Time to finally head to our main target. Since I donated my only means to defend myself to my German colleague and I wasted my entire supply of sniper ammo, I can't really take these guys out, so we have to get creative. Chemically creative.
Uh-oh.
Nice. Now let's make our way to the top and have a chat with Leo.
Just answer the question.
Don't believe me? It's all in the numbers. For 100 years, there's been a conspiracy of plutocrats against ordinary people.
Do you have a single fact to back that up?
Number one, in 1945, corporations paid 50% of federal taxes. Now they pay about 5%. Number two, in 1900, 90% of Americans were self-employed. Now it's about 2%.
Fascinating. So, that's it. Time to pat ourselves on the back for our glorious field performance and call it a day. Well, that would have been the case in lesser games, but this is not just any game. It's Deus Ex. We have one more location to hit, and that's the UNATCO offices. And there's so much stuff to cover here as well. NPCs to talk to, cabinets of supplies to break into, shit to read, world building, random bits of awesome reactivity, the secret hatch in Alex's office which spawns new loot every time you revisit the UNATCO offices. I just love this section. Alright, now we're really done. What can I say? Liberty Island is a textbook example on tight level design and tutorializing game mechanics. Everything has a purpose, from item and enemy placements to small bits of dialogue and world building meant to set the tone for the rest of the game and immerse players. I'm also fully aware of the fact that this level has something of a complicated legacy, and that it dumps too much stuff in the player's lap, which could make newcomers to the series feel overwhelmed. I can totally get behind that. Maybe putting such an open-ended level smack dab at the beginning of the game was not such a good idea. Deus Ex could have also done a better job with its tutorial level by either doubling down on spelling out its mechanics or making it mandatory. In any case, if you were amongst the newcomers who are skeptical of Deus Ex because of Liberty Island, I hope this video did a good job in convincing you it's worth another shot. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. This was a really fun video to make, so if you want to see similar content in the future, feel free to tell me in the comments. A huge thank you to my wonderful patrons whose generosity keeps this channel running, and I'll see you in the next one.